What's up, everyone? Welcome into Stadium Drive Week 15 here in Louisville, Ohio, East Canton. And Will Ford, Aaron Sprague for the state semifinals in Division 6, the Garaway Pirates and Kirtland. It's going to be a fantastic game. Kirtland has been one of the more dominant teams in Division 6 for really the better part of 15 years.
Yes.
It's so good. And Garaway has never won a regional title, and they did so last week against West Jefferson. And it's definitely by far the most talented team they've ever had, best opportunity they've ever had, and it's going to be a fantastic game here tonight, but a cold one.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, first off, the atmosphere tonight, Week 15, it's 30 degrees. It's going to be 30 degrees tonight. It's windy, but I tell you, I'm not going to complain. I mean, this is what we work all year for an opportunity to be part of this experience. This is what the kids work for, to get a chance to play in this. So this just comes with the territory, playing in these elements in late November, early December. The Louisville Stadium is absolutely beautiful here in northeast Ohio, just outside of Canton, and it's nestled inside of like a little neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it has a really cool small town vibe, yet being a gigantic stadium, gigantic video board behind us. So the atmosphere and the stage will be set. And when you talk small school football, they might be small in numbers, but their fans come out of the woodwork.
Gosh, yeah.
It's a lot different than Division I football. These fans live and breathe it. They will turn off the lights. Last one out of town, get the lights. We're going to the game. And that's going to be the situation tonight. As far as the game, Will, Kirtland is the epitome of small school football in Ohio.
Yeah.
7 straight regional titles, always a contender in the 4 state championships, and they're a public school. I mean, that's what's so neat about it. They're a public school. They just success. The culture creates championships, and it's just such a great opportunity for the Pirates.
Well, and their head coach for Kirtland, the Hornets, Tiger Verdi, is probably one of the best, maybe the 2 or 3 best coaches in Ohio. He is the 3rd fastest coach in the United States to win 200-plus games with one program, and he's the fastest in the state of Ohio. So really probably the best coach maybe in Ohio high school football right now. You could certainly make the argument for it. 5 state championships, 6 6 state titles, 5 state runner-ups. Got the flip-flop there. And in state semifinal games, he's undefeated 10-0. So if you're betting on a man, you're going to bet on Tiger Verdi, but Garaway's got something to say about it tonight.
Right, and if I'm Garaway, this is the opportunity I want. You want to go through the best. It just makes the story that much better if you can get through Kirtland. And I love teams like Kirtland to see how they've done it.
Yeah.
You know, I think for sure they're well coached. This is a culture thing. This is a formula of success, how to keep the pipeline full and how to continue to execute at a high level. It's the formula. Just like Jason Wallach has a formula down in Sugar Creek. He's had a ton of success in his 20-plus years, but finally just now got that regional title, and that's why it's so cool for those kids and him as a coach who's lived and breathed it for so long to have the opportunity. You're going to roll the ball out and see what happens and have a chance to get to Canton next week to play for it all.
And they've been in the regional final the last couple of years, so they've had their shot, and they're just now getting over that hump. I think a lot of it has to do with their quarterback that they brought in last year, Brady Geibel, who's that transfer kid who's kind of just seamlessly fit into this offense, this team, and obviously they're talented all across the board and all their skill positions, running back, Dylan Sunland. I mean, he's a small but mighty kid. We were talking about it on the web. He's 5'5", but he doesn't run like he's 5'5". And their defense, like Jackson Reifenschneider, is an incredible story, an incredible athlete, and their front 7 defensively. So, like, they're just so talented across the board. But I think the integration of their new quarterback has really it's tipped them over the edge, and I think that's what gives them a really a puncher's chance in this game against Kirtland tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they certainly have a chance. If you look at Fantastic50.net, Drew Pastor and his computer points and analytic software, they manipulate numbers. I mean, he has Kirtland favored at 3.5 points, which isn't bad. If I'm Garaway, I'm taking that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I like that spread. And also on his website, they had strength of schedule. He had Garaway at 5th toughest strength of schedule in Division 6, and Kirtland was at 14. So it's not like Garaway got here by accident.
No.
They didn't play chumps along the way. In fact, any team in a state semifinal across the state, you did not get here by accident.
No.
You are darn good, and every state semifinal should be. If you need to get your off-season lift in, Will, good luck to you the rest of the pregame show.
Appreciate it.
Can't wait to see how this one shakes out.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, but let's hop to our interview with head coach Jason Wallach of the Garaway Pirates. Talked about winning a regional title for the first time in school history, the play of his transfer quarterback Brady Geibel, and then preparing for this Kirtland opponent, the Hornets, and their incredible culture that they have. They've been champions for so long in this tough challenge here tonight. So here's head coach Jason Wallach on Stadium Drive, Week 15, state semifinal. It's great stuff, but thanks so much for joining us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. All right, we're here with head coach Jason Wallach of the Garaway Pirates going into the state semifinal round of the Division VI playoffs. Coach, I really appreciate your time joining our show as always. We were talking before we got started here, little Thanksgiving celebration that you're having with the team tomorrow. What you got going on, and I'm sure that's going to be a lot of fun with the team and some returning players that you got coming back.
Yeah, we one of our goals was to practice on Thanksgiving Day, and it was one of the things that our kids were really excited about, honestly. So Friday night after our victory, a couple of them asked, or basically told me, Coach, we're still having Thanksgiving, right? So we're gonna have a little Teamsgiving. We always practice Thursday nights and then have a team meal after our practice. So we kind of opened it up to all the players' families, and we opened up our practice to all of our former players. So, we'll have a few kids, I'm sure, show up, maybe some older guys that were part of the program years ago, and just have a little time of reminiscing, and then a meal afterwards.
Well, and I guess a celebration is in order as well for winning your first ever regional championship, which is obviously very exciting. 42-7 win over West Jefferson, the number 2 seed, and I mean, just yet again another super dominant performance, running clock victory, and it truly remarkable. But what was the feeling? After the game, the clock hit 0. I mean, after the first half, obviously the game I feel like was surely in hand, and you knew you were on the path to victory, but when the game's over and you are crowned regional champs officially, I mean, what's that feeling like for you and for the team to claim your first ever regional championship and move on to the state Final Four?
Yeah, we talked last week, and I pretty much guaranteed you it was not going to be a 42-7 victory, and that just happened to be the final score. But our kids played really well. They've been really goal oriented all year. We can go all the way back to week 8 when we beat Indian Valley. That was a big win for us. And then to finish 10-0, we set that goal to finish 10-0, and then we wanted to go somewhere where no other team has ever gone in history. We've been in the regional final or a semifinal for 4 consecutive years. This being the 5th consecutive year, so it was a big goal for us to get over that hump. Once we did that, then obviously, the Thanksgiving thing started coming in and making the Final Four, and it was a goal that we obviously obtained, and now obviously we want to win a state title. But the feeling Friday night was really special. It's I'm sure in 3 weeks from now, maybe a month from now, sometime over Christmas break, I don't know. I'm sure we'll look back at the season and really enjoy it. Obviously, as a coach, you're looking at Kirtland film first thing Saturday morning, and just knowing that we have a really big challenge ahead of us. But the kids were really excited. Obviously, the community's been really excited. We've had a ton of support. Outpouring of past players reaching out and coaches reaching out this week, and it's just been a special feeling.
Now, last week we talked about one of your best defensive players in Jackson Reifenschneider, but the 2 guys on offense that really stood out last week, Brady Geibel, your transfer quarterback, played really well, and then Dylan Sunland, your running back, had 3 total touchdowns and total yards of offense. I mean, those 2 guys offensively, and it really, especially Brady, to kind of be a transfer, kind of just come into the program and really kind of gel with the guys. Like, I mean, what have you seen from him? We talked about him, earlier in the season before that Indian Valley game and how well he had been playing, never turns the ball over, and almost always makes the right decision with the football. But I mean, for him to get you in your offense and lead your team to this spot in the playoffs, regional championship, Final Four, I mean, what has he meant to your program?
Well, I don't want to jinx anything, because the last time we talked about how well he was doing, he turned around and threw 4 interceptions in the Sandy Valley game.
That's true.
But no, Brady, growth is really the word that really sticks out when I think about Brady. He moved in last May, I believe, or March. I guess it was March. He moved in, the fourth 9 weeks, and has really developed into a really huge asset for us. Obviously, he does take care of the football. He makes good decisions. He's learned the offense. He's fit right in with our players. Our kids respect him, for us. So, he's done a tremendous job for us. Dylan, same thing. We say it all the time. He's mighty, or he's small in size, but mighty at heart. I mean, he's 5'5" or 5'6" on a good day, probably with the stretching spray out. So about 145 pounds, but he doesn't run that way. And, he wants to score a touchdown every time he touches the ball. And he's one of our strongest kids pound for pound. He is our strongest kid pound for pound. Extremely hard worker. So both of those guys, have really made us, a dual threat, a balanced offense, I guess, so to speak. You got Jensen and Bronson and Braden, Wyatt and Peyton out there as well, playing receiver for us. So, we're pretty balanced offensively. We've been fortunate enough to be balanced offensively all year long. But those two kids mean a lot to our program for sure.
Now, this Kirtland matchup, it's definitely going to be the toughest challenge without a doubt, because they've won 7 straight regional championships, and they've been so dominant really over the last 15 years. And their coach Tiger Laverty is extremely successful, the fastest coach in Ohio to win 200 games with one program, and he's the 3rd fastest in the country. So obviously an outstanding coach and an outstanding team that he has this year with only 1 loss. They ran the ball really effectively in their win last week in the regional championship, over 220 yards rushing. What do you make of this chess match that you'll have with Coach Laverty and their ground and pound offense, their team that's just so well rounded, and they've been here, done that, and to make it to yet another state championship game, and they now stand in your path?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of respect for Kirtland, obviously. We played them in 2011, 2014, and then again in 2020. So we've had multiple matchups with them, and it's going to be a huge mountain for us to climb. We know that. They've been very successful, like you said, 6 straight state championship games. They got a little sour taste in their mouths, losing the last 2. So I'm sure, they want to get back to holding that trophy up at the end of the year. So we know it's a huge challenge for us. They're a very good program. The difference is our kids. No disrespect to Kirtland, but our kids just don't care who they're playing. We talk every week about a nameless, faceless opponent. They've really taken that to heart this year. That's how we've prepared all week this week. They don't care who they're playing. They just want to go play. And our kids believe. That they're the best team in the state of Ohio. We may go out and get beat 50-0. I don't know. We'll find out Friday night. But I do know one thing: our kids are going to play really, really hard. They don't care if they're playing Kirtland or St. V or St. Ed's or who. I mean, they just want to play the game. It's a very close-knit group. They love each other. They respect each other. They've worked their tails off with each other. So, it's just going to be it's a huge mountain, obviously, to climb. And they're a very good football team. But we think we're a pretty good team also. And we've been there. We've been knocking at that door. We've played them 3 other times. We've played the South Ranges. We've played the Perrys, the programs that have won state titles or been in the state finals. So, we're really excited about the challenge. It's going to be a huge challenge for us. We know that. But at this level, we're all good. We're all good. And, we got to beat them once. We don't have to be 10-0 against Kirtland 10 weeks in a row. We got to beat them one time, and that's in week 15. So, that's kind of been our goal this week, our mentality this week.
Well, you've been knocking on the door, but now it's time to bust that door down, man. So best of luck in this state semifinal game this Friday against Kirtland, and just keep this incredible season rolling, man. tons of respect for you and your program. Really appreciate you joining our show as always, and happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, you guys too. Appreciate it, and go Pirates.
Seizing the moment. That's what Garaway is doing right now. And a 42-7 win against West Jefferson, a running clock victory in the regional final. You don't see that very often. Both teams in this game, Kirtland and Garaway, won via running clock in their regional final matchups. And again, you're playing the best of the best this time of year, and to do that in a big-time game, big-time moment, Garaway and Kirtland are just playing incredible football, and they have been all season long. But the two guys on offense for Garaway, Brady Geibel, their transfer quarterback, 8 of 15, so just above 50% passing. Didn't throw it a whole lot, but didn't really need to because his running back was so good. But 180 yards passing, 2 passing touchdowns, and one of those touchdowns went to Dylan Sunland on your right. He had 91 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, and then 64 yards receiving. All of that was on one catch, and that one catch was a touchdown. So 3 total touchdowns for Sunland. Those 2 guys on offense, plus Jensen Garber, some other guys that are just so talented offensively for this Garaway team. And defensively, Jackson Reifenschneider is more than a problem up front, and really their front 7 collectively is just remarkably good. And I'll tell you what, Garaway, they're going to have their hands full tonight against Kirtland because, as Aaron and I talked about at the top, Kirtland, 7 straight regional finals. They've lost the last 2 state championships, but under Coach Laverty, 6 state titles and 5 state runner-ups. So they have been doing this for they've been here, done that for so long. They just win at a remarkably high rate, and they've been so good. But before we dive into the Kirtland side of things, make sure you share wherever you're watching. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, or X, I guess, and then YouTube, make sure you share this so that way more and more people see this, because we love promoting high school football and doing a pre-week. And who knows, it could very well be our last one of the season, but we're hoping that we're going to a state championship with Garaway next week. But make sure you share this.